Every month, numbers appear on your phone and you call it a paycheck. But for 200,000 years, humans worked, built, hunted, and traded with no money at all. So, how did anyone actually get paid? The answer is way weirder than you think, and it involves beer, salt, and a stick with notches on it. You've probably heard the story. Before money, people bartered. 10 chickens for 1 axe. Simple, right? Here's the thing. Anthropologists have searched for over a century, and they've never found a single society that actually ran on barter. Why? Imagine you make shoes and you're hungry. The farmer has bread, but he doesn't need shoes. Now what? Barter only works if both people want exactly what the other has. Economists call it the double coincidence of wants. In real life, it almost never happens. The shoemaker starves in a village full of food, so what did people really do? They ran on memory and trust. You need bread today, you take it. Everyone remembers. Next month, the baker's roof leaks. And guess who shows up with a hammer? The first economy wasn't cash, it was favors. And this system worked everywhere anthropologists looked. Your neighbor shares fish today, you help build his canoe next month. Nobody writes anything down, but everyone knows who's generous and who's a freeloader. Reputation was the first credit score. Fast forward to the first cities. Mesopotamia, 5,000 years ago. Thousands of workers building temples. You can't run that on favors, nobody can remember 10,000 debts. So we got the first documented paychecks in history. Workers on Mesopotamian construction sites were paid in beer. About a liter a day, plus bread. And we literally have the receipts, clay tablets, 5,000 years old, listing beer rations for workers. The oldest payroll document on Earth is a beer ledger. Some tablets even record complaints when rations came late. The first workplace drama in history was about a liquid paycheck. In Egypt, pyramid builders got grain and bread. Salaries were measured in loaves. A skilled worker, about 10 loaves a day. Unskilled, 2. And honestly, it worked. You could eat your salary, drink it, or trade it. Try eating a dollar bill. But carrying sacks of grain everywhere is heavy. So society switched to stuff everyone wanted, always. Roman soldiers received an allowance to buy salt, the salarium. It's literally where the word salary comes from. Why salt? Because before refrigerators, salt was the refrigerator. It kept meat from rotting through winter. In some regions, it traded for its weight in gold. Rome even built roads for it. The Via Salaria, the Salt Road, is still on the map of Italy today. In Africa, India, and China, cowrie shells. Durable, pretty, impossible to fake, easy to count. Entire ships full of shells sailed the ocean like floating banks. Shells stayed in use as money for 3,000 years, longer than coins have existed. And cows, so important that the word capital comes from capita heads of cattle. Your bank account had legs and ate grass. One problem though, you can't split a cow to buy bread. And your entire savings could catch a disease and die overnight. Account balance, deceased. Now the weirdest one. For 700 years, England's economy ran on sticks. Not metaphorical sticks, actual wood. England's treasury recorded taxes and debts on hazel sticks starting in the 12th century. You owe me 50 sheep? We carve notches on a stick and split it lengthwise. I keep the longer half the stock. You keep the foil. The wood grain matches only its twin impossible to counterfeit. And here's the genius part. I could pay my own debts by handing your stick to someone else. The debt itself became money, moving from hand to hand. Sound familiar? That's basically how banks work today. Fun fact, when England finally retired tally sticks in 1834, clerks burned them in a furnace under Parliament. The fire got out of control and burned down the entire Palace of Westminster. The old money system literally took the building down with it. So when do actual coins show up? Around 600 BC, in Lydia, modern-day Turkey. Lydia sat on a river that washed gold dust down from the mountains, and Lydian kings realized they could melt it into standard lumps. The first true coins, electrum, a natural mix of gold and silver, stamped with a lion. That stamp was the revolution. It meant the king guarantees this is worth exactly 1 unit. No scales, no arguments, no trust required. Within a few centuries, coins conquered the planet. Greek drachmas, Roman denarii, Chinese ban liang, different names, same trick. They don't rot, don't die, split into change, and everyone takes them. Look at the upgrade. The pyramid worker needed a cart to carry his salary home. The Greek worker needed a pocket. 1,000 years ago, China took the next step, the first paper money. Merchants were tired of hauling iron coins by the cartload, so they traded paper receipts instead. Money became a piece of trust you could fold. 500 years later, Italian money changers sitting on street benches called banchi, which is where the word bank comes from, invented letters you could carry to another city and swap for coins. Money stopped traveling. Information traveled instead. And here's the twist. Your paycheck today isn't coins, and it hasn't been backed by gold for decades. It's numbers in a database, a promise. backed by trust in a system. Over 90% of the world's money has no physical form at all. If every customer of every bank showed up tomorrow asking for cash, the cash simply does not exist. The system runs on the same thing the village ran on, everyone agreeing not to ask at once. Which means we've gone full circle. The first economy ran on remembered favors. Your bank account is exactly that, a very precise memory of who owes whom. The technology changed. The idea never did. So next time your salary lands, remember, you could be getting paid in beer. Subscribe if you want to know what money does when nobody's watching.